It's my birthday, and that's why I have a brand new tutorial for you and also a new free Procreate brush. You can get it by going to freefromflow.com, or if you have already subscribed, then just check yesterday's newsletter and go to the treasure chest to grab the new free brush. And since it's my birthday, I also have a special gift for all of my patrons. This month, they will be getting my brand new brush pack full of birds. But now, to get started with this tutorial, what you need is a canvas of 2300 pixels by 3000 pixels. You will also need the moon brush, which you have created in a previous tutorial. You did watch that video, right? If you haven't, then you can either go and create that moon brush now, or you can grab my moon brush also through Free4Flow. I have also created a color palette for you. You can download it through the link in the description, also for free. Oh, and don't forget to set your color profile to sRGB so your colors will look the same as mine. Now, if this all sounds like hocus pocus abracadabra, then go and watch my video about getting started with Procreate. Now let's get started. First thing we'll do is drag and drop a color onto our canvas, and that's this first color in the color profile, second row. It's almost black. Drop it onto the canvas, and now go to the brushes and use the soft brush. And then go and grab this third color in the second row. I have the opacity set to 60% and the size is at 36%. Now let's zoom out just a little bit. And now we are going to glaze over the lower half of our canvas. I'm making circular motions, adding some of that purplish color there. And I'm keeping the top area dark. Then grab this color, the fourth color in the second row, and add some of that color to the center area here. Now, if you want to soften the gradient a little bit more, then you can go to the magic wand here at the top, pick Gaussian blur, and slide your pen or your finger to the right to make it even softer. Let's go for 39%. And now let's go and create a new layer. Go to the layer menu, that's the two little squares, tap the plus, and now let's go to the treasure chest brush pack, or whatever brush pack you have put your moon brush in. If you're using mine, then you can find it in the treasure chest brush pack, the moon brush. Let's set it to white. You can double tap here to grab a pure white. I have my brush set to 100% opacity and the size is set to 63%. And now let's just tap to put our moon in the scene. I want it to be centered, so let's go to the arrow tool, the move tool. Make sure that you have snapping turned on here at the bottom. And then make sure that it's in the vertical center of your canvas, about here. Now let's create another new layer. Go to the two little squares, tap the plus for a new layer. And now we are going to grab the monoline brush, which you can find under calligraphy. And for the color, we are going to use the second color in the second row. And we are going to make a circle that covers our moon. You don't have to be super precise, just make a wobbly circle, hold your pen in place to make it snap to the quick shape, and then tap one finger on the screen to make it snap to a perfectly round circle. Now you can tap Edit Shaper at the top and make sure that it's covering our moon nicely. Then drag in the color to fill it. And we are going to drag it underneath our moon. So go to the layer menu, drag and drop it. So now it's behind our moon. Now we are going to lower the opacity of this layer. Just tap the little N here and drag it to 30%. Then tap layer 2, that's our moon layer. Then tap the plus for a new layer. Tap this new layer and turn on clipping mask. That means that whatever we paint on this new layer that is clipped to our moon, whatever we paint there, it'll only show up on our moon. Now we are going to grab the soft brush under airbrushing again. And we are going to use this pink over here, the second color in the first row. And the layer, we are going to set it to multiply. Tap the N and go up until you see multiply. Now we are going to glaze over our moon to give it some color. Some pink here at the bottom. And then we are going to switch to this blue, the first color in the first row. And then we'll add some blue here at the top. Then go back to the layer menu, go to layer 3, drag to the left and tap duplicate to duplicate this layer. Use the bottom one, tap the N and turn the opacity back up. Then pick this third color in the color palette and drag it onto that circle. Now we are going to the magic wand, the adjustments menu, go to Gaussian blur and blur this layer. Let's go for 17%, for example. And then tap the layer and give it a mask. Now you can see this layer mask attached to our bright blue circle. And since it's white, it'll show everything of this layer. But as soon as we start painting with black, we will start covering things. We will be using the soft brush. We'll set it to pure black. Here it's already set to pure black. And then we are going to remove the lower area. And if you want to paint a part back in, then you can just switch to pure white. And for example, you can go over that top area to give it a bit more brightness. I can also see a little dark edge. That's that dark layer over here. Let's make it just a little bit smaller. Go to the layer, then to the arrow tool, the move tool. And let's make it just a little bit smaller so that we get a nice bright edge instead of that dark edge. We don't want that. So now it's smaller, and then you can tap the arrow to get out of that menu again. Next, we are going to add some trees to our scene. Let's go to layer 1, then tap the plus for a new layer. And let's grab a tree brush. We are going to the treasure chest brush pack, and we are going to use the pine tree forest brush. And for our color, we will use the second color in the second row. I have the opacity set to 100% and the size is set to 10%. And now let's start with light pressure over here and go to the other side. I'm making like a curve, and then I'll press a little bit harder as I move to the front. Now I want a little extra misty effect, so we'll go to layer 1. Then we'll go to the brushes and we'll go to the luminance brushes, which are part of Procreate, and we'll use the nebula brush. Then for the color, we will use this fourth color in the first row, that nice blue color. I have the opacity set to 30% and the size is at 13%. Now let's just go over this area and add a little bit of nice groovy blue mist. Now let's add some stars. We'll do that on a new layer on top of this one, just to be sure, in case we create stars that we don't like, then we can always remove them. So tap the plus for a new layer. And now let's grab the glimmer brush. Let me tap and go into the brush studio to show you my settings. Under shape, you can see that I have scatter set to max. And when you go to stroke path, you can see that my spacing is also set to max. So check these settings to make sure that you have the same settings so you'll get the same effect. Then tap done. Then grab this color over here, the third color in the first row. I have the opacity of the brush at 100% and the size is at 15%. And now let's create some stars. You can press harder to create some bigger ones and press lightly for smaller stars. And focus on the top area, the top half. And since it's my birthday, I think this is a nice moment to go and hit that subscribe button, because the analytics are showing that 50% of you isn't subscribed while watching my videos. And what better day to hit that subscribe button than my birthday? And since this video is up on YouTube, I guess it's my birthday every day from now on. In any case, let's go and hit 500k subscribers today. Now that we have filled our sky with stars, let's just add one more thing. Let's go to the top layer, then tap the plus for a new layer, and let's go and use the brand new free brush with birds. Let's go to the treasure chest brush pack and use the birds brush. We'll use the second color in the second row. I have the opacity of the brush at 100% and the size is at 50%. And now let's just tap on our screen to add these birds. And that's it for my little birthday tutorial. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you will enjoy the free brushes. And of course, I hope you will share your work on social media. If you share it on Instagram, then don't forget to tag me in the image, not just in the description. Because that way I will be able to find your work and perhaps we'll see your work in the next video. Like these awesome You Can Draw This tutorial results from others. Or these great results from my patrons at Patreon. I would like to thank you for watching and I will see you next time for the next tutorial.